Old school Paul, new school Justin. Man, y'all still going to school though. Sit down, listen up. Father, son, y'all think it's just another one. Fade the Vader, they be grading players, all it's done is made the piper pay me, and they've been grinding lately. Up late, hit the waivers, don't hate the player, hate me. It's just a game, boy, never gifted one on Christmas. Instead I asked for ships to hit everything off my wish list. Check the litmus, do y'all really not get this? Hit this triangular shaped button, I don't want you to miss this. But I guess that's really none of my business. Me risky free, cruise with Paul and Justin just listening. Yards after contact and catch, that's a lot of distance. The kind of info make me wanna blow opponents' kisses. But I gotta be clear, there is one key difference. Relationship is deep in this vein of ellipses. Like how Justin agreed to washing all the dishes. I'm just grateful Paul turned the miss into the misses. Father, son, pie, get down on the get down. If you don't get it now, then get out. Father, son, pie, sit down and get rich now. If you're not feeling it now, then get out.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Father-Son Fantasy Football Podcast. My name is Paul.
My name is Justin, and we're back for another week review. What's going on, dude?
What's up, Jay?
Damn, I got a nickname right there. If you guys aren't following the podcast on Twitter, at FatherSonFF, at PaulFSFF is your Twitter, and then my Twitter's at JustinFSFF. And that'll be in the description below. If you guys are also new, please subscribe. Stay updated to when we post episodes, 2 a week right now. We have a weekly review, kind of trade target one that's focused on like transactions in your redraft leagues and possibly some dynasty buy lows here and there. And then we got our DFS plays with Matt Williams we do on Friday now. And, you know, hit pretty well last week. Not too bad. But we got to review some week 3 stuff. And in case you didn't...
Let's start out with a quick review of the Listener League.
Okay, what do you want to say about the Listener League, bro?
So I'm sitting at 2-2 right now in 5th place, and I get the second highest points. Dan is in first place with only 608 points, and Stompy is 3-1 with 562 points. I got more than 100 points than him, but he's sitting in second place at 3-1.
Yeah,
and you are in last.
Yeah, I'm in last. It's not a good week for me this past week, and what are you going to do? My points scored aren't looking that great. My team's not looking that great, but, you know, there's better days ahead of us. We trying out here. I got some buy low candidates that are on my team, so waiting for them to break out. It is only week 5, and I still have Miles Sanders. That's going to happen eventually. So,
well, you better hope so, because Jordan Howard.
Jordan Howard.
I always like messing names up, okay? Let it go.
Oh.
Jordan Howard.
Johan Howard. Isn't that a basketball player?
It doesn't matter. No, that was Jordan Howard.
No, that's the running back.
I love it.
All right.
So does everyone else love it. Me and Bart were talking. Bart loves how I mess the names up. I love it.
Yeah, just got to keep your thing. So, names you can't mess up. We'll start right here with a bang. Right here. Chris Godwin. He's got the 2 words in it that you want. He's got God and he's got win. And if you had Chris Godwin, you won. This dude is ascending fast. The past 2 weeks, this dude has 19 targets, 15 catches, and this past week he just went off. So that game, honestly, sell all your Rams players except for Cooper Kupp, because that was Jared Goff's performance was like one of the worst. Like 500 yards at least.
Are you going over games now? Or
yeah, I'm kind of just going into games. We'll start with the Rams Bucks. That game, Jared Goff is bad. I don't know what else to say about Jared Goff other than he's bad, because this dude, I believe he had over 500 passing yards. And
he did.
That was the worst 500 passing yard game I've ever seen in my life. Like, it was just disgusting. And I don't like it. But Cooper Kupp is the guy who's getting all the targets right now. And he's got, the past 2 weeks, he's at 25% target share in his offense. Last week, let's see target shares for this team.
Okay, you look at it while I'm gonna talk a little bit. Jameis Winston, I didn't expect him to throw all over the Rams. Somehow he had one of the best performances, I believe, of his NFL career.
People benched him because of the defense.
Oh, I know. on the other side of the ball, Goff struggled, but he still threw for 517 yards and 2 touchdowns. But a lot of that was in garbage time.
Yeah, that was garbage time. You saw Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp both had 15 targets. Cooper Kupp, obviously, he's doing Cooper Kupp things. Had a touchdown. Robert Woods didn't have a touchdown in the game, but he had 164 receiving yards. So hopefully, last week on the podcast, what did I say? I said buy low on Robert Woods. What does Robert Woods do? He goes out there and performs, and then Brandon Cooks is a good buy low in my opinion. People are like, he's got the R2 there, but like the Rams are always going to have this target competition in their offense.
Yeah, because this offense has got so many weapons.
But
any guy can hit on any given week. All three of them can't hit in 1 week.
No, but regardless, last year if Cooper Kupp didn't get hurt, they were all going to be top 24. They all have value. You can't discredit that. And Brandon Cooks had an 11.1 average at the target still, and I like to see that. And he hasn't really had his boom game yet. And
he still caught 6 passes for 71 yards.
That's what I'm saying. He's still giving you that weekly floor of at least 10 points, and he hasn't had his boom game yet. So he's a decent buy low candidate right now. I think there's going to be value in this passing game regardless, and I wouldn't sell high on Cooper Kupp because this guy's just getting all the targets. But his average at the target was 8.5 last game. So I'm not hating on Cooper Kupp. I think if you got him, you're holding him. You're not going to sell him because you sell him, you're going to regret it instantly. Other side of the ball, though, 2 takeaways. You already mentioned Jameis Winston is going off, but Chris Godwin is elite, and I already have him inside my top 12 for dynasty wide receivers, and he just keeps getting better and better. But
it was ridiculous. 172 yards on 12 or 14 targets and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, he looks
a monstrous performance.
He's special. And Mike Evans did his thing. He also had a touchdown.
And he didn't do much. If he didn't have that 89-yard
60, something like that.
67-yard bomb, he would have done nothing. He saved his fantasy owners with that touchdown on that bomb.
Yeah, but you can't,
other than that, he did nothing.
You can't discredit
Gurley did absolutely nothing.
Gurley had a lot of garbage time.
On the ground, he couldn't run for nothing.
I'm always on the train of selling Gurley. I don't want anything to do with Gurley. I'm not a Gurley fan, really, and I think
he did score twice, but in the running game, he did nothing.
Malcolm Brown continues to be one of those guys that you want to have on your bench because I don't know how long his knee's going to hold up for a while. But my buy low from this game is not going to buy low. I'd probably pay a fair price for it, but Ronald Jones, he looks like he's going to be the guy there. He looks like the most effective running back, and hopefully to give him more carries going forward. So he's trying to show out because last year he was one of the least efficient runners, and this year he's one of the most efficient runners so far. So I am liking what I see out of this guy, and he's on some of the later wires, so hopefully you picked him up this year. And Peyton Barber got less. He had 26% of snaps, whereas Ronald Jones had 49%, which is 17% more than his previous high. But let me see if I can find this thing about Chris Godwin. He had a huge first half. In the second half, he kind of like went back off, but he's still like 9 first half catches, and like it's just like this guy's. If you got him in the 5th round, you're happy with it, and he's finally having that breakout year that you were hoping for.
Sure.
Now, people are gonna make fun of Odell Beckham. I'm switching this game, and I'm talking about Odell Beckham now because I'm an Odell fan, as you know. Buy low on Odell Beckham, all right? I don't know why people are always so scared. Like, stop being scared of this dude. Baker Mayfield isn't looking great, but they just beat the Ravens on the road.
They blew them out. They blew the Ravens out.
They're looking. The hype's going there, and Baker Mayfield is hopefully going to keep getting better. But like Freddie Kitchens still has to stop calling the plays. Like they got bailed out by Chubb having a great game. No credit to that, but we don't got to talk about Chubb because Chubb did what he's drafted to do. Chubb is Chubb.
I'll just say one thing about him. He had that 88-yard. If you've seen that 88-yard bust for a touchdown in the second half, it was unbelievable.
He looked he's stocky. Like he's a big dude. And he looked kind of like not slow, but he looked faster than everyone else. You know what they clocked him in at for running speed?
What?
21.95 miles per hour. Odell on his 89-yard touchdown against the Jets in week 2, that was 21.7. Right. So this dude ran faster than Odell, which I think is just crazy. And it doesn't look like it, but
he blew up our dynasty team. He had 3 touchdowns.
Yeah,
165 yards rushing. It was an unbelievable day.
Yeah, I wouldn't even try to sell high. In redraft, maybe sell high if you can get package him up for McCaffrey. That's what I'd maybe do. But I'd be really hard for me to sell him because I think Kareem Hunt's overrated. I think Kareem Hunt's super overrated. And
who is
Kareem Hunt? I think Kareem Hunt's overrated. You think he's good? I think that
he's good.
I think
but
the
I don't
system
like him coming back from it. He's not going to do nothing here.
I think the system made him good in Kansas City because when he got the ball, there was just open lanes and he just went through.
They're not going to sit Chubb. He's just there for insurance purposes. That's it.
But the stat I like a lot came from Cody Suick. Per Next Gen Stats, Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield's average time from snap to throw was 2.44 seconds in Week 4. That's the second fastest than any quarterback, and it was approximately 0.6 seconds faster than Weeks 1 to 3. You like to see that because I was making fun of him last week when we talked about the Rams game, how he just took forever to make his decision, and he took forever just to throw the ball. Kind of he's still taking a little bit. He looks a little slow. I don't know what's going on with you, Baker, but you gotta fix that stuff, and you have to target Mr. Odell Beckham. So Odell
No, he's
Beckham.
overrated. All the hype, like we talked about weeks ago, all the hype was on the Browns.
I'm buying low on Baker Mayfield in Dynasty.
They were off.
Superflex.
Listen, they were off to a disappointing 2019 season as far as I'm concerned. And then they woke up by the shocking blowout they just did against the Ravens. So
yeah, and Odell Beckham 2 catches, 7 targets.
Yeah.
The passing
He barely
game,
did anything. He didn't do anything.
He had 120 air yards though. All right, and that's promising to see. And they should let him throw the ball at least once every game. This dude got a cannon, but I think it's a perfect buy low because the Browns got the ball quicker, and that's a plus for defense. Focus on Odell Beckham. It opened up a lot, but I think that you got to buy Odell Beckham because
they got weapons there too. So I mean, like Landry was the big weapon guy here.
Yeah, he got concussion.
I mean, he reeled in 8 balls for 167 yards. So he did leave the game late with a concussion. So I don't know how he is right now.
Yeah, he's in the protocol right now. The target share was in Landry's favor, but for the weighted opportunity, even though Landry had 10 targets and all that, the weighted opportunity rating for Landry was 0.63 and Odell Beckham's was 0.62. So you can see that the opportunity is there for Odell Beckham, and he had a 17.1 average at the target. So I'm telling you, buy low on Odell Beckham. It's the same process. You buy low on DeAndre Hopkins. I'm not going to say much about the Ravens side of the ball. One player I'm going to pick out to say one thing before we move on to the next game, and that's going to be talking about the Texans-Panthers, is buy low on Marquise Brown. Because Marquise Brown, once again, is getting targets, but he's not getting the production.
He had a disappointing game here, too.
Marquise Brown had a .42 weighted opportunity rating. The second most among the wide receivers on that team was Seth Roberts with .31. He had 7 targets and only 41 air yards this game because the Browns defense kind of like locked Lamar Jackson down. But
sure,
Lamar Jackson is still startable because even with that crappy
game,
he
is. You start him every week if you have him in your lineup. Everybody's gonna have a bad game now and then.
Yeah, 100%.
You can't win every game. Look at our fantasy teams. They go up and down. Like I love fantasy and I hate it at the same time.
You do? I hate it.
You never know from week to week.
Yeah.
Right or wrong?
No, you're right. You're right. You're very right. Texans, Deshaun Watson's not looking that great, right? You know what this means? You know what this means? Buy low on Deshaun Watson because you're going to have bad games. I'm not worried about it. I think Carolina's defense is underrated compared to most, and I agree with people that are going to say, oh, but Deshaun Watson's offensive line remains a concern. It does, but I'm not that scared by it. And DeAndre Hopkins just remains a screaming value for me. And you can get him pretty cheap right now, as you saw. In any of the leagues, I would just send out an offer to try to see what the guy wants for DeAndre Hopkins because he's getting the targets. He has 8 targets and 5 receptions this last game, 116 air yards, and the average target is 14.5. And his weighted opportunity rating is still 55% compared to Will Fuller's, who's 0.41. I'm buying both of these receivers. I'm liking what I see from DeAndre Hopkins, and you have to just trust in Deshaun Watson. Like he's not going to throw 160 yards back-to-back games like that.
I think his offensive line hurt him this week. That and bad coaching.
Yeah,
the offensive line was terrible. I mean, I think that's why Watson struggled a lot. He had no time to throw the ball.
Yeah,
Nothing.
And then you can see by the converted air yards and all that stats. So like that means if it does receiving yards over air yards. So how much you actually getting from these air yards? And both Will Fuller and DeAndre Hopkins are underperforming in that area. So 0.35 for Hopkins and 0.26, and that's just what those numbers mean. I'll try to simplify it real quick. Is basically this guy's getting the opportunity because you see the weighted opportunity rating is like 0.55 for DeAndre Hopkins, but he's only doing 0.35. He's converting all of that. So he's getting the opportunity, but he's not converting the opportunity into fantasy points. But since he's getting an opportunity and he is a DeAndre Hopkins type player, you're going to buy this guy because you know better days are ahead. And he's had a very slow start this season. So you got to buy DeAndre Hopkins. And Will Fuller, Deshaun Watson missed him by like 1 yard on a 75-yard touchdown that would have been.
Yeah.
And every week he's going deep and he's going to get there. So the Will Fuller breakout game is coming. And you bet I am buying him in Dynasty. I think he's really cheap right now. People are maybe giving up on him. I'm buying him in redraft. And I'm 100% going to play him in DraftKings this week because he's going against the Atlanta Falcons. And Kenny Stills is not playing next week.
Like I said, when I said Watson struggles because of the offensive line, plus I think it's bad coaching. Here's why I think it's bad coaching. Why are they not using Duke Johnson in the passing game at all? He's seen very little work. I do not understand this at all.
This week,
the guy is very talented. Mm-hmm. He should be out there, and they're using him very little.
I agree with you. I'm a big Duke Johnson fan.
I do not understand why.
Yeah, I don't understand why either.
On the other side of the ball, how about Kyle Allen? He is 3-0 as a starter.
He did not look good this game. 3 fumbles, I think.
He's still 3-0.
Yeah, it's still 3-0.
Well, his big problem, and it was the same thing in preseason, was the ball security.
Yeah.
He's got problems holding on to the ball. He fumbled near the red zone off the opening drive. I mean, he's got ball security problems. Otherwise, he went 24 of 34 for 232 yards.
Yeah.
So, I mean, one of the best plays of the game, remember, I don't know if you've seen it, but when they tried to sack him and he went down and under, and the guy totally missed him, and I don't know how he got away from that sack.
Hey, that's important to be avoiding these kind of sacks because you want more stress to your body. And
McCaffrey is just a monster when it comes to PPR.
People don't talk about him because people are like, oh, you have McCaffrey.
There's no need to.
No. That's what I'm saying. But can we take a moment to recognize what this guy is doing?
Gosh.
Like, this dude is a beast. And
he caught all of his 10 passes.
Going into the season,
yards. He caught every single one of them. He also rushed for 93 yards and a touchdown. The guy is just a beast.
Going into the season, I had him ahead of Barkley in my rankings for a redraft. I was taking him at the 101 because of this opportunity. This dude did not come off the field for a single snap. He's getting the targets in the passing game. He's basically a wide receiver 2 with running back 1 in the same week. So you get 2 players you're starting for the price of 1. And
I cannot believe in the home league I got him as the 4th pick.
I don't want to talk about it. I was so mad about that.
I got him in 2 leagues. I got him as the 4th pick, and I got him in another league as a 2nd pick.
You want to know what's better than having him in a redraft league?
What?
Having him in a dynasty league because you have him for life. I have him in 2 dynasty leagues, and it's a great feeling. I have him, Juju, and Tyreek Hill, and Chris Godwin. That's a fun lineup. But
sure it is.
I wanted to hear what you had to say about Curtis Samuel. So, what's your thoughts about him? He had 3 catches for 32 yards. Is that what you're looking at and saying a little worrisome, or what are you thinking about Curtis Samuel?
I mean, he's a boomer bust guy. One week he'll do good, and another week he won't. So you just don't know which week he's going to do anything.
Buy low on Curtis Samuel. I'm telling you.
I have him in 2 leagues. I almost start him every week so far, and it's frustrating going on him.
Buy low on Curtis Samuel. Curtis Samuel.
Better days are ahead?
More than better days. So this dude had 7 targets this game, 151 air yards. And I mentioned the weighted opportunity rating is a 0.69. That's the number we like to see. And then the conversion rate, though, his conversion of these opportunities is 0.21. That's a severe underperformance. Sure. So I'm looking at Curtis Samuel and I'm buying him. 151 air yards. You go to the total for this week. That was 3rd this week among all players in air yards. And that I love air yards because an air yard is, how far the ball travels in the air. So if you have 60 air yards, you're going to get at least 60 yards on the catch.
Sure.
That's what it means. So air yards are a very good correlation to fantasy points because if a ball travels 20 yards in the air, it's at least a 20-yard catch. So you want that. And this is going to bring into my next buy low. And we're going to talk about the Bills game real quick. Is Philip Dorsett. So Philip Dorsett had 9 targets, but people are going to look at the stat line and see 2 catches for 10 yards. And
right.
I'd sell this guy too, but you got to look at the whole passing offense. Tom Brady didn't throw for anything that game really, and he didn't look that great. But Philip Dorsett had 9 targets, 144 air yards, which is 4th among all wide receivers this week, and he had a 0.68 weighted opportunity rating. And I think better days are ahead. And this week they go against the Redskins. I looked at the money line odds for this because my friends were talking upstairs. It's negative 855 for the Patriots in this.
It's crazy. Yeah.
So you have to bet $885 to win $100.
Yeah.
It's almost a sure lock, but still, it's why would you even bother doing that?
Neither one of these quarterbacks did good. I believe it's clear that Josh Allen still has a long way to go through his development. He had a disastrous game from start to finish.
The human highlight reel is Josh Allen. But
I
want to know what
he's an absolute mess when he's on the field, right? He failed to complete half of his passes and was responsible for numerous turnovers and errant throws.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He was 13 to 28 for 150 yards and 3 interceptions. Did you hear me? 3 interceptions. Everybody was praising the Bills. Yeah, they got a good defense, but on offense, I still think they got some work to do.
Yeah. Now, Devin Singletary has been played in a couple of weeks since week 1. I want to know what you got to think about him because I did a trade today in our G League. I don't know if you saw it or not. Did you happen to see it?
No, I don't. What'd you get this time?
I traded away Will Dissly, the tight end for the Seahawks, because I think he's a big sell high, and we'll go to that game next. And I got Devin Singletary. What's your thoughts?
Who did you trade with that in the G League?
That was the fill-ins. What's your thoughts about that? People on Twitter, I talked to Stompy about it, I talked to D-Bro about it. D-Bro was like, I don't know, because Frank Gore's going to have his work. And then Stompy was like, if it's not tight end premium, you're going to do that. And I thought I was going to do it too. I think Devin Singletary is a great buy low because people haven't seen him in a couple of weeks. And since it's the Bills and you've seen Frank Gore do this, they're a little scared about Frank Gore. I think Frank Gore's going to have his carries. But TJ Yeldon this game, he had, I believe, 4 passes he caught for 68 yards, and that's Devin Singletary's role when he comes back.
Yeah, well, this game was all the running backs did all the work on both teams. New England running backs did most of the work. Michelle gained 63 yards on 17 carries. James White led the team in receiving once again with 8 catches for 57 yards. Buffalo's 2 running backs were also big-time producers, right? Frank Gore somehow eclipsed the century mark, dashing for 109 yards on 17 carries. He also reached the 15,000 career mark, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Yeldon, meanwhile, caught 4 balls for 68 yards.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All the running backs did all the work.
I think that role right there is going to go to Singletary. And then 5 days ago, a stat was posted. It was the most 15-plus yard rushes in the NFL as of right now, right? Dalvin Cook has 7 15-plus yard rushes and 57 attempts. That's first place. Wow. McCaffrey has 4 and 59 attempts, right? So you're seeing all these guys, and Chris Carson also has 5 and 45 attempts. Do you want to know who's second on that list?
Who is it?
Devin Singletary has 5 15-plus yard rushes and 10 attempts. If this guy comes back, and this is why I think it's a great buy low on my part, like they needed a tight end. I looked at their team needs, and I said, I need a running back. So I said, I'm going to buy low on a guy who hasn't played in a couple of weeks because I'm hoping. And reports were that he could have played on Sunday, but they wanted to set him out for precautionary reasons. And I'm not a big Devin Singletary guy. Out of all the rookies, he's like one of my least favorites, but like I'm taking the chance that I'm wrong on this guy because he looked good week 1, and if they give him more opportunity, I think the buy low window is perfect right now because no one's even thinking about this guy, and I just got him for Will Dissly. Like, yeah, Will Disley's doing fine and all, but like I don't think it's going to continue, and it's not a tight end premium.
I think it is. I think Will Dissly's for real.
So what's your thoughts about that trade?
I'm not a Singletary fan, so
I'm not either, but I could be wrong. This guy looks good.
Who's your other tight end?
Darren Waller. So I don't need 2 tight ends in that league. And I need a running back, so I said, why not? It's probably right now people are like, oh, you gave up a lot, but once Devin Singletary comes back, he's on the field, dude. You're gonna be saying, oh, nice trade.
Well, I'm surprised the Phillies made a trade there.
Me too.
I'm surprised anyone in that league has made a trade, and you've made 2 already.
I try to make my trades work. Let's talk about.
You got too much time on your hands. You're supposed to be at school.
Let's talk about Seattle and Arizona. I'm not going to talk about the Seattle side of the ball. Tyler Lockett buy low if it's possible. They got a defensive touchdown early by Devin Conley.
Just one thing I'll say about the Seahawks is Carson come back after all the fumbles. He had a great game.
You noticed that about him?
He rushed 22 times for 104 yards and caught 4 passes for 41 more yards. He had a great game. Even though Penny is coming back this week, I'm not worried about Penny just yet. Carson controlled the ball this game. If he can keep doing that, it's still his job to lose.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to try to find a stat real quick about Chris Carson, but talk about the Arizona side of the ball. What's your takeaways from that?
Oh, my gosh. This is the David Johnson we all remember, right? I mean, again.
Yes, it is.
He put up 139 total yards on 19 touches. His 11 targets led the team and all running backs in the league, while his 99 yards on 8 receptions led all running backs in receiving yards. This is the Johnson we all remember. The guy had a fantastic game, I hear.
David Johnson. I mean, if Tyler Murray's going to get pressured every single time and just dump it off to David Johnson, I'm loving that because this dude's basically a wide receiver out there who has some run game, and I think their offense is going to continue to gel. There was also something posted about how Cliff Kingsbury is doing a great job of using people the correct way because last year I complained about how Mike McCoy was using David Johnson, like running up the middle, and like that's David Johnson succeeds going to the outside. So this year you're seeing Cliff Kingsbury use David Johnson on the outside a lot, and like you said, he's looked amazing.
I mean, the Arizona has a terrible offensive line too. Kyler Murray threw a lot of short passes. He didn't have time to throw the ball either. I wish he would produce more fantasy points for his owners, but until he gets protection where he can throw a little bit, I mean, I just think he's just going to keep on being a mediocre. But we're going to have to see. He is developing since week 1, so we'll see what happens moving forward.
Yeah. All right, so here's a freaking stat that I was like, what the heck?
One thing on the Seahawks, too, is Russell Wilson still looks good.
Russell Wilson, I said it in this offseason, it's unlock Russell Wilson's season, and Russell Wilson is going to go off, and he's going to continue to go off because I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and now he's going to get volume.
He had another efficient day. He completed about 78% of his passes. I mean, the guy is just Mr. Consistency this year, again.
All right, so here's a question I have for you. How many missed/broken tackles do you think Chris Carson had on Sunday?
I'm going to go with 10.
More.
Okay, 11.
More. I'll give you one more
Just
guess.
tell me how many.
21.
Wow. Oh, my gosh.
You watch this guy run, he runs angry, and he held onto the ball this game. So I think it's a good sign. I still add Rashad Penny just in case, but Chris Carson, dude, you're running hard, and I like to see people run hard in like that aspect. Now,
Yeah, another thing on the Arizona is the Hall of Fame awaits Fitzgerald, right? The guy caught 5 passes for 47 yards and moved into second place behind Jerry Rice with 1,326 career receptions.
yeah.
But he still got Jerry Rice goes, you can have that one because I have about 36 other records.
Jerry Rice is.
Jerry Rice was one of the best receivers ever.
I wish I was able to witness that, but I wasn't. But hey, I mean, I just know Jerry Rice is great.
I mean, he also had Joe Montana and Steve Walsh throwing to him. The guy was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Now, real quick, I want you to do 2 takeaways from this game. I'm going to tell you. The Chiefs,
Right.
Lions. My first takeaway from this game is by Kerryon Johnson, because what Kerryon Johnson didn't do was score. And people are going to look at this points and be like, oh, he didn't score that much. But the opportunity is there. He had 70% opportunity, and anything above 70 for Kerryon Johnson is great because C.J. Anderson was cutting into it. But ever since C.J. Anderson has left, Kerryon Johnson,
Sure.
and he looks good. Like I don't even know what to say. Like other than Kerryon Johnson does look good. He had a slightly smaller snapshot, like I just said, but he got 4 more green zone rushes according to Ben Gretchen. What green zone rushes are is high value touches. So this is inside the 10-yard line. These are passes inside the 20 and all that. So I really.
Oh yeah. I mean, he was impressive on the ground, right?
Yeah.
He rushed for 125 yards on 26 carries.
Uh-huh.
He also caught 2 passes for 32 yards. So another great game for him.
Yeah. And I want to know what you got to say about Kenny Galladay because.
Oh my gosh, the dude, he should have had 3 touchdowns. He had one wiped out.
That one he had, though, that toe drag,
Wow.
that was nice. And I have Kenny Galladay in 2 of my leagues, and I love it because this guy is looking at alpha wide receiver, and it's looking like 8 targets is his floor every single week. And he's an alpha physical wide receiver 1, and Matthew Stafford looks to him. He's also tied for first in the league in end zone targets with 7. Random guess. I want you to see if you can get. You're not gonna get it. I don't think you wouldn't expect this guy to be tied for first with 7 end zone targets, not end zone targets. Who do you think in the league also has 7 end zone targets? I'll tell you what. It's not Odell Beckham because Baker Mayfield doesn't look to him in the end zone, which he should.
Jimmy Graham?
No, it's not Jimmy Graham. It's DK Metcalf.
Yeah.
So I think it's a decent buy low opportunity on DK Metcalf. Not talking about that game. And then on the other side of the ball, I'm buying low on a Chiefs player. It's not Tyreek Hill because that buy low window has probably passed. It's Damian Williams. Because you're seeing what Darrell Williams is doing, and I think Damian Williams comes back is going to slip right into that role.
He's back this week. He's already practicing. I believe he's coming back this Sunday.
Yeah, I think he's going to come
I'm
back.
starting him in my lineup. I got him. I'm starting.
You're starting him? Should I start him? I'll start him in the G League. I'll take a risk on it. All right.
I would start him.
I'll definitely try that out. But
Mahomes still looked good, but he didn't get in the end zone this week.
It's Mahomes, though. That one throw he had was like in between 4 defenders.
He still had over 300 yards.
Mahomes is unreal. Titans, Falcons. Last week you mentioned sell high on Derrick Henry, and I was saying I'll maybe sell him, but I really want to buy low on Derrick Henry. So I sold him for Devontae Adams, and I still stand by that because anytime you can basically sell Derrick Henry for an elite receiver like that, I know that the freaking turf toe sucks, but
yeah, I mean this week he didn't have any long runs, but he still passed the 100-yard mark.
What was I saying before the season? I was saying it's possible Derrick Henry can lead the league in rush attempts. He had 27 carries this week with 100 yards, but no touchdown. People are gonna look at his score. I would pay up in a trade for Derrick Henry. I think this guy, he's not looking. Yeah, people are like, oh, no passes are being caught. I said that the carries are gonna outweigh the passes, and something's happening this week. Do you know what's happening this week?
What's happening?
He's getting Taylor Lewan back, and that's the starting left tackle. And if you guys go over to thequantedge.com, you can sign up. Use promo code FSFF and thequantedge.com. Let me tell you, they're going to help you win some money. With the DFS picks, the DFS articles, and they have a great betting tool where they have a 66.7% win rate on that with their best bets. And their best bets, they get you money. I'll tell you that, dude. I don't know about you, but so far they're hitting on a lot of their best bets. Last week wasn't that hot, but this week they did very, very well on it. So if you go over to thequantedge.com, use promo code FSFF, you can see what kind of deals you can save on that. And you go to the injury impact tool on NFL Fantasy, right? And I want to see what Taylor Lewan does for this Titans offense and what does a left tackle really mean? Like, yeah, it's going to help Marcus Mariota out, but what does the left tackle means. So in 2018, in games played, Taylor Lewan, this dude, let me try it. It's not loading, but I got it. Here we go. I'll cut this out. Taylor Lewan. All right, so Taylor Lewan in split. They ran the ball about the same amount, but the success rate, so when Taylor Lewan does not play, the run success rate is 39.4%. When he does play, it is 46%. So that's just a big boost. And then the explosive run percentage, without him in the lineup, is 3%. And when he does play, is 4.1%. Yards per carry goes up almost a full yard from 4.6 compared to 3.6. And wow, I just think this is like an underrated move. And I was saying it last week. So I think buy low because I guess he's getting them back for the rest of the year. This just helps everything else out. They have Roger Saffold from the Rams. So you see Tucker was kind of struggling on the ground. It's because they don't have Roger Saffold anymore. And I've been bullish. I've been high on Derrick Henry all offseason. I think this is the time you pay up for him and get him before he starts booming because positive game script is to come soon. What's your takeaway from A.J. Brown, though?
Oh, he had a great game.
He looks good. I just wish they give him more opportunity. That's the only problem I have right now.
Well, Mariota looked good for a change.
The Falcons' defense just looks bad. So I think Deshaun Watson and Will Fuller are going to go off this week. But yeah, I mean, A.J. Brown looked great. He looked
Falcons. I'm so disappointed in the Falcons this year. I was so high on their offense, and they have just done nothing.
It's only week 5.
Matt Ryan has done nothing. I mean,
yeah, it's been a little disappointing. What are you going to do, though? You can't really control that. I mean, Matt Ryan's going to have his games. He's also not going to have his games like you saw right here. Devonta Freeman had 9 targets, 8 catches. Like, good for you, Stompy. I mean, I guess, but this dude looks like crap on the ground. I'm standing by my thing, and you saw Ito Smith take away a touchdown from Devonta Freeman. I love seeing that because I was telling you, the only way you're going to get this guy to score is between the 20s because they're saying that he's not going to be red zone back. So, I mean, hey, I'm sorry, Devonta, but I'm glad I never drafted you. I'm glad I didn't take you. We're going to go on to the next.
Yeah.
Man, but this is the important game I want to talk about this week because my favorite player in the NFL is Stephon Diggs. And you see the Vikings versus the Bears, and there's a play that I'm going to try to bring up real quick and show you, Dad. I don't know if you've seen it, but Kirk Cousins is trash. And this week, Stephon Diggs, the trade speculation is ramping up because today he missed practice for an undisclosed, non-injury related reason. And I hope he doesn't pull a full Jalen Ramsey with this thing because I like Stephon Diggs. But I understand the frustration because Kirk Cousins.
We're all frustrated. Adam Thielen's frustrated. Everyone is.
And then Stephon Diggs.
Kirk Cousins is disappointing.
No, Kirk Cousins is bad. All right? Stephon Diggs hasn't talked to the media in a week or two, and I think it's because he's mad. But here we go, Dad. I have the play up right now. I'm going to quickly show you this real quick. So, right here, you're going to see Stephon Diggs. Right? Wide open. You see him in the back right there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That
couldn't even hit him.
That would have been no, he hit Thielen short where he could have got Diggs long for a touchdown. So Diggs is angry about it, and people are speculating trades to the Patriots. I would not like that, but I would still be rooting for Diggs because I think it's going to be great. But imagine him with Tom Brady because he hasn't shown up. He hasn't talked to the media in a week. He hasn't practiced today, and he also apparently followed a couple of Patriots players on Instagram, which now, yeah, so it may be happening.
You never know. I mean, they're frustrated with Cousins. He choked once again. Anytime he's in a big game, he's been a disappointment for Minnesota.
I agree.
Most of his yardage came from garbage time. He only had like 50 yards in the first half. The rest was garbage time. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, Diggs benefited from the garden time, right? He had 108 yards, but I don't know. The only guy who stands out for me on Minnesota is Dalvin Cook, even though he was just limited to 35 yards on 14 carries. But he did score a late touchdown and was able to be productive in a passing game for his fantasy owners. So,
Is Chase Daniels better than Mr. Trubisky?
He looks good. He's very confident in himself.
I think he's better than Mr. Trubisky. He's better for fantasy because Allen Robinson had 7 targets, 7 catches. And
Trubisky suffered an injury to give Chase Daniels a chance. And, he went 22 of 30 for 195 yards on a touchdown.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything spectacular, but I thought he managed the game very well.
Me too. David Montgomery, what did you see anything from him you like this game?
He's finally getting more carries, which is a good sign.
Buy low on David Montgomery. It's coming sooner rather than later. He had his highest snap share of the season at 69%, and they worked heavily. They were up, so they were going to play conservative with Chase Daniels. And this could be a good thing because they're going to rely on David Montgomery. He didn't turn the ball over. He didn't make a lot of negative plays. It's time to buy David Montgomery in case you haven't already. and he got the touches, and his routes are trending positively too. So I think his day.
I have him on a team, and I started him in week 1, and that was it because it was disappointing. I haven't started him since.
This week against the Raiders, I think I'm starting him. I think the Raiders are going to be down by a lot, and I think the Bears are going to try to run it out. I'm putting him in the flex spot depending on my other options in this league. So I'm putting him in over Miles Sanders this week. I'm putting him and Chris Carson as my running backs in my one league. Let's take what I have from that game, and then I'm going to talk about 2 more games. Jaguars-Broncos, Fournette. Dang. This dude,
the
200.
Broncos coach, I think, is one and done. I think they're going to fire him.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for a new coach like that. But Leonard Fournette, 31 touches, 245 total yards. Wow. I mean, he had an 81-yard run. Wasn't able to finish it off for a score, which I saw back-to-back weeks. He had a 69-yard run against Titans and didn't get a touchdown when he probably should have. And I don't know if he's lost speed or whatnot over the long haul, but he's just not finishing these long runs. And I guess it's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy, but come on, Fournette, get in the end zone. But imagine if he had 2 or 3 touchdowns that game. He would have. He would have.
That's his best rushing total of his career right there. 225 yards.
That's crazy. He looked good. Cortland Sutton or Emmanuel Sanders. I want to know your thoughts on these guys. I'm not going to talk about the backfield. The backfield's like an even split. Both are being used kind of evenly. So, both are going to have like value. But I want to know what you guys say about Cortland Sutton or Emmanuel Sanders. Who would you rather have? How's that rest of the season? Emmanuel Sanders or Cortland Sutton?
That's a tough one for me.
I'll tell you right now.
Take the upside of Sutton.
I'm taking Sutton as well. I think that Emmanuel Sanders,
I just got him on a waiver wire too.
How the heck was he on a waiver wire?
I don't know. I think in one of my Yahoo leagues, I picked him up.
You're lucky. Oh my gosh, you're lucky. You're lucky.
He was right there. I got him.
Yeah. Good for you. That's great. So, Emmanuel Sanders is over the past 4 weeks. His average at the target is 9.8. He got buoyed by this game at having like 15, but Cortland Sutton's is 10.2, and they're both having about equal opportunity share. And then Cortland Sutton's just converting at a higher rate. Both are close. We both got 1A, 1B in this offense. I like both of them. And then other side of the ball, DJ Chark. Chark is getting the volume, and if you can still buy him, I think the buy window may have probably closed on him, but he's getting the targets from Gardner Minshew, and that's what it's going to be. I'm not going to say anything about the Saints-Cowboys game other than how the Cowboys lost against Teddy Bridgewater and the Saints. Now, last game we're going to talk about for today.
Bridgewater's undefeated as a starter too now.
Yeah.
Either 2 for 2.
I'm going to give a sneaky. I'm going to give a sneaky buy low real quick.
Who's it going to be?
It's a tight end, and he had 0 fantasy points this week. Do you know who he is? And
let's have it. Who is he?
George Kittle. Why did he have 0 fantasy points?
Because he had a bye week.
Because he had a bye week, but he's been disappointing for people this whole entire year so far.
He has been.
But guess what I'm doing? I'm buying. I like seeing these buy.
Well, nobody's going to sell him.
You don't know that.
Just based on the name alone, they're not going to sell him.
You could say that, but so far he's been rather disappointing for people. He leads the team in weighted opportunity percentage. This guy is just beasting. He's got 0.55. The second highest on the team is 0.38. He's got a 25% share of the air yards this year and a 26% target share. I think it's coming for George Kittle. He had 21 targets, 17 catches. Hasn't scored yet. He had 2 touchdowns called back week 1. I said that. I said buy low last week. But before he plays this week on Monday night, you have to get George Kittle on your team. I don't care what it takes. I'd get Will Dissly plus Aaron Jones for him. I think that's a perfect buy low. And you probably get a little bit more. I think sell high on Aaron Jones. We're not going to talk about that game. Send an offer out for Miles Sanders. Because right now,
you're not afraid of what Jordan Howard did?
This is what I'm saying. Buy low on Miles Sanders because people are going to have that mentality like, oh, Jordan Howard's the guy there. But you're not going to know what week he's going to use Jordan Howard. And I think because Jordan Howard had these runs and he looked fine. But if you give Miles Sanders those carries, Miles Sanders would have way more yards because Miles Sanders he's faster now. He's more evasive than him. He's better running back, better all-around player. He's getting the receiving work every week. It's buy low on Miles Sanders. I'm sending out a good offer for Miles Sanders in all my leagues. I don't care what it takes. I want this guy on my team because the breakout's coming. The breakout is coming, dude. Book it here. The Miles Sanders breakout is happening. I don't care. It's just going to happen. I don't know what week's going to happen. I was saying 6, 7. It's probably more 8, 9 now. But I'm not worried about Jordan Howard. I mean, yeah, sure, he's going to take goal line touches away. But the Miles Sanders breakout, it's happening. We're just waiting for it. And I'm going to keep waiting for it. But the last game I want to talk about is the Steelers, Bengals. Here's what I'm going to say about the Bengals. They suck.
Well, both teams were 0-3 going into this contest.
Jalen Samuels looked pretty good. And right now, James Conner is dealing with an ankle injury. So I want to know what you got to say about Jalen Samuels and James Conner moving forward. I like both. I think it could be like a Kamara Ingram situation.
I I mean, their running backs look good, right? Both of them took 10 carries, turning them into 42 and 26 yards respectively. Samuel scored on the ground and also caught all 8 of his targets for 57 yards.
8 targets.
Yeah, Connor also reeled in all of his 8 targets for 83 yards. The two worked very well together.
They do.
I mean, and Rudolph played well. I mean,
average depth of target of 3. Average
at
depth of target of 3. Are you kidding me? Why do you have an average depth of target of 3? That's crap. And Juju Smith-Schuster did not get enough targets. You got to target Juju Smith-Schuster. No. You have to. Like, come on, dude. Like, what are you doing? But the main takeaway from my game right here is, like, I don't know if they're going to do this Wildcat thing every week. I look like more of like a one-game kind of scheme thing rather than it's going to happen every week.
Are you buying in on Deontay Johnson?
I am buying in on Deontay Johnson. I think there's a chemistry there that's going underrated.
All 6 of his passes.
The touchdown was wide open, and I wish it was Juju, but I think Juju's going to get more work. But I think this guy's number 2 in his offense ahead of James Washington, which is a little surprising for people. But
the other side of the ball, the Bengals just look terrible. Mixon has no help. I mean, he hasn't been able to find any running room all year. He gained 62 yards on 15 carries. I mean, I don't know. Dalton is just terrible. The whole Bengals are terrible.
What would now you mentioned James Conner having a good game.
Ross suffered an injury.
Ross is out for at least 8 weeks. Yeah. So Auden Tate's probably going to do well until AJ Green comes back, but Tyler Boyd's going to get a lot of targets. Tyler Eifert this week against the Cardinals is a good buy. Julio Jones, you have in the listener league. I'm in last place right now. I got to make a move. What would it take in addition to James Conner for Julio Jones for you to give him to me? I would do James Conner plus Mike Williams.
I'm not doing it.
I would do James Conner plus Mike Williams and who do I have? I mean, all right. I'll do it. I would do James Conner and Larry Fitzgerald for Julio Jones. You need a running back because you have Sony Michel who sucks. I'll do it.
He's been doing okay.
Sony Michel's doing okay. Brandon Bolden scored a touchdown over him. I'm trying to sell him wherever I have him, and it's hard as crap because he sucks. My dad doesn't make trades a lot for people listening, so he's going to look at this right now. But
because
it's not a rape. You can't say that. It's not. It's you hit accept. It's not. But that's my little offer for you right there. I'll give you James Conner and Larry Fitzgerald, and that's overpaying, but I don't care. I kind of want Julio in this league because my team needs something. Other news. That's gonna do it for a recap.
Whoa, hang on. Whoa. You're missing the Giants again.
Oh, I don't want to talk about that crappy game.
You don't want to talk about the Giants and Daniel Jones, how he's 2-0 right now.
You don't want to talk about how Daniel Jones beat 2 crappy defenses, Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Washington. How do you throw 2 interceptions with the Washington Redskins? That is awful. They are one of the worst pass defenses in the league, and you're gonna throw 2 interceptions. I can't wait to see what he does against a good defense. I'm selling Daniel Jones, and yeah, he has Golden Tate back, but no Saquon.
So, all right.
I don't.
Let me know when you're done.
Go ahead.
Boy, oh boy.
He's not
Let me get
great.
a chance.
He's not that
you talked
great.
about your sorry team who's overrated.
They're the same record as you.
Team that's up and coming right now.
You beat the Buccaneers and the
Redskins. Aside from his 2 interceptions, Jones played well. He was 23 of 31 for 225 yards and a touchdown.
You put me out there, I'll go 23 or 31.
And Gallman looked well in the absence of
the absence of Saquon. Shaquan. I want to know what you think. What do you think Daniel Jones is going to do?
He lived up to the hype. I mean, he rushed for 63 yards and a touchdown. He also caught 6 balls for 55 yards and made another score.
I think
so. I mean, he did look good, but Barkley is working out now. I think he's going to be back sooner than people
Don't rush
think.
him back.
Don't
rush your boy back. You need him. The Giants don't rush him back. You don't want him to rush back.
No, I don't want. I don't want them to rush.
Daniel Jones is going to have his first test about a real defense this week.
So here's the thing: Washington sucks. Why would you start
sucks.
Keenan when he was still in a walking boot on Wednesday? Why would you start him on Sunday? And then you put Haskins. You bench him when he's doing terrible. You put Haskins in. Haskins looked like he wasn't even ready to play.
He wasn't. Because he had no idea.
Yeah,
they don't know what they're going to do at quarterback this week. And I think it's so stupid. Like, give Haskins a game plan. You give Haskins a game plan, he'll do better than what he did right there. Like, yeah, obviously he's going to throw a lot of picks because you just got thrown in there. You probably didn't expect to play. But I don't know what Daniel Jones is going to do this week against the Minnesota Vikings defense. I'm taking the under on 240 passing yards. I don't think he's going to get crap. I think that's what the over-under is me right now. But like, I don't think he's going to do crap this week. Golden Tate's back, sure. I don't know what Golden Tate's going to do. But Sterling Shepard's very underrated. I will say that, and he looks good. So that's going to do it for our week 3 review. I don't want to talk about the Giants because why do you want to talk about that crappy game? But if you guys also want to go over to Thrive Fantasy, it's a great DFS app. People are starting to take notice of this platform. It's good prop bets and stuff. If you listen to us, you would have won.
That's the same as DraftKings. It's just
we're doing pretty well on our picks for Thrive Fantasy, on our over-under bets and all that stuff. and Matt Williams helps us out too with that. So go to Thrive Fantasy. It's an app in the App Store, and download it. You can deposit $10. You get $10 additional back. Use code FSFF. So my dad's looking at this trade right now still. We'll get an update next episode. We're going to release one Friday afternoon, Friday night at like 6 o'clock-ish for the DFS plays of the week with Matt Williams. If you guys are new, made it this far, please subscribe, and we will see you guys next time.
See ya.